I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me, I know most are festering. Negativity is a plague for the mentally weak. No mercy, all I got is working. Never stop searching, never quite so thirsty. I'm toxic and psychotic, but there's logic, you can't stop it. It's been chronic since I was a boy, so neurotic and chaotic.
Built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the cast, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from the grave and put your foot on the gas. No, never stop competing, yeah.
I've been doing this, I'm on it, I just wanna be iconic. Sipping on a gin and tonic, got me going off when I'm on this topic, yeah. If I ever play, I want it, you know that I'm always honest. Stay away from those who are toxic, keep them out your face, no way, you don't want it, yeah. Don't try to drain my energy, the enemy is everything. It's mentally, unhealthily, spreading like a rare disease. But I won't let it get to me, I don't need your therapy. I can leave a legacy of leading by intensity. Come on, we can fight this, freedom is priceless. Spread just like a virus, living in a crisis. Do you feel courageous? Do you seek greatness? Trust me, you can take it, go on and take your aim, yeah.
Built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I can change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the cast, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from the grave and put your foot on the gas. No, never stop competing, yeah.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, yeah.
Turn on your mind now, tune into the feed. We're planting digital flowers from a single tiny seed. Yeah, power to the collective in the data and the soul. The hive mind's getting louder, finding voice and control.
When we get to the FBI, we don't know who did the work. You heard that any of that information is redacted. We don't know who did the work. It's a giant secret. We know that by the time the FBI gets involved, the profile, the text file, that's a snip to use to try to identify somebody is more than twice as big when it gets to the FBI from Othram. We don't know how.
I've got an itch I can't scratch, I'm missing a piece that completes a whole part of me, an open wound scar to see. Everybody come here, gather round, welcome to the freak show, the best in town.
What up, Hive? I hope everybody's having an awesome day. Big stream this evening. Big stream here. Let me make sure the audio's coming in. Oh, yeah. Loud and clear. NPCs' heads are going to explode. It's nothing that we in the Hive have not known. Many people in the Idaho 4 community that are seeking out the truth in this case are most likely not going to be surprised about what we show this evening in some new documents. It is still mind boggling that they really got away with this. It's hard to wrap your head around. It's been hard to wrap your head around, and it's just confusing. It is maddening. It's the most blatant corruption or incompetency I've ever seen. And if this is your first time tuning in, I'm your host, Birdie. I go live weeknights at 7 p.m. Central. Welcome to the Hive Mind. We think past the headlines, we question the narrative. And if you're easily rattled, triggered, or offended on behalf of others, you are not going to like me. You're probably not going to like the majority of people in the chat. However, I would encourage you to hang out, say whatever you want, as long as you're not trolling, spamming, or threatening in the chat. Discord Dog, Luda Bliss, UFO Dog, and formerly known as Beck will give you enough leash to hang yourself. As you're filing in, Hive, please go ahead, do all of the things. Hit like, hit subscribe. Both of those are completely free. If you want to scan the QR code so that you can follow the Hive on TikTok or join our Discord, that is the QR code to screenshot so that when the live is over, you can go into your photos and just tap that QR code. It'll also bring up our merch store and the Spotify playlist if you're interested in any of the intro songs. In addition to all of that, we do have Hive Plus, which allows you to have access to the emojis during the live streams and loyalty badges next to your screen name. On Saturdays, I have a Hive Plus only chat. So all of the streams are always going to be free. So thank you to everybody who does choose to support the stream financially. Again, Saturdays, that chat, it's called the Hive Plus War Room. It's more of a live dig, much less presentation on my part, more collaboration with you all in the chat. It's been a lot of fun the first couple of weeks that we've done that. And again, thank you to everybody that has signed up for that. As a reminder, tomorrow night, we have Miss Amber Vance coming into the Hive, and very, very excited for that. I announced that yesterday. Amber and I have never streamed together before, and so you all and myself, we're in for a great show with her. She's very knowledgeable. She's very well-spoken. She knows her stuff. Do not miss that. That is tomorrow, or Wednesday, June 3rd, 7 p.m. Central. Now, sorry for this being a little bit blurry. I always put a poll up, or I try to remember to put a poll up as you all are filing into the chat. Today's question was, if you can only pick one, which would it be? And it was a one-on-one interview with a variety of people. You could have either interviewed Koberger, Ann Taylor, Steve G, or Bill Thompson. Brian Koberger dominated this answer. 90% of people said that they would prefer to have a one-on-one interview with Brian Koberger. 7% said Ann Taylor. 3% said Steve G. And sorry, Bill Thompson, you got 0%. That's actually hilarious. I'm surprised like one person didn't pick Bill Thompson just to go give him the business and tell him what's been on your mind after watching this dumpster fire of a case play out. And before I say what's up to everybody, I'm just going to read this quick disclaimer. The following material includes archived public posts, forum content, and news articles shared for informational and analytical purposes only. These materials are presented as historical records and do not reflect my views or assertions of fact. No claims are being made regarding guilt, innocence, or intent. Viewers are encouraged to verify all information independently and understand that online content may be inaccurate, incomplete, or misleading. This channel abides by YouTube's community guidelines. Content is not intended to harass, defame, or incite violence against any individual or group. This channel, being Birdie_Hive, does not promote hate speech, harassment, or harmful misinformation. Now, let's see who is all tuning in this evening. We got Nick Rogers. I said, Ann would get all the smoke. Big Forehead, Big Dream said Bill Thompson wouldn't give an interview. He'd offer a plea deal instead. That's hilarious. Mom Fluff, how are you doing? Third Eye, Not Blind. Gurmilla, UK Carrot, UFO Dog, Discord Down, how are you doing? Growth Redacted, great to see you. Brandon, Jessica says, Birdie, Hive, the best part of the day. Let's effing go. 4 a.m. I think could have been dreaming. Said, woo, made the live on time. Hi, Hive. And wanted to say I got my mom hooked on this case. She loves this channel, as do I. Well, hello to whoever the mother of 4 a.m. I think could have been dreaming is. Welcome to the Hive. Glad you're tuning in. Pop and Switch said, Bill Thompson, give him the slow to stare down. It's like the Western movie, like the doo-doo-doo, and then a tumbleweed comes flying through the scene. Selly Moya, Brad Harris, evening. Beverly Fike, Luna, how are you doing? Ocean's 1111. Don't drink chunky milk said, I feel like bad Santa smells like Ben Gay and Fritos. Those are two of the most random things. I will say, as I read Ben Gay, I'm like, I could actually see that. I could actually picture that. The Fritos, I'm not sure where that came from, but that's hilarious. What up, Eddie? 1i536. Boomer said, happy leg day, Birdie and Hive. Love that. Tayloo. Hibiscus Girl. Jojo Joby. Beautiful Disaster. Meep and Bubbles. Carl Martin Jr. Chaos and Christina said, love seeing people waking up to the bigger picture with Idaho. This podcast is one of the reasons. Thank you. I appreciate that, Chaos and Christina. And don't forget the Hive. If you don't know what the Hive is and how the Hive even became, or how it even got that name, it's because of the chat. Back on TikTok, I had made a comment one time that I said, man, it's like this chat. It's like a hive mind. We're all working towards the same thing. And I started referring to the chat as Hive, as the Hive. And that's how we got our name. And so you all are a part of this stream just as much as I am. It's all of ours. And I appreciate everybody. Tiffany, pretty much 7 p.m. Christina Westfall, Kathy Macklin, how are you doing? Hilarious, 1984. Brandywine OG, Golden Chicken Toothache, Blue Eyed Candy, great to see you. Badiddle Diddle 69. These usernames are getting out of control, Hive. Jacqueline, Sherry, Yipsy Gecko, Gabby Girl, always great to see you. Twisted Timo, Pieces of April, excuse me. Sammy, hope you're keeping Boomer in check, said Steve G would say it never happened and deny knowing you. The Mavens tuning in from Cambodia, flip it upside down, says, what up, what up? Here to establish an alibi. Amy J all day, every day. Buzz, buzz, Birdie, let's go. And what's up? Doxer Soundworks. Julie Hughes, Mrs. Scab, Kyler, and we'll do one more. Jalapeno Smoothie says, sup, Birdie and Hive. And Sleuth, how are you doing? Said vocal stems activated. I feel like I could guess the majority of people's vocal stems in here. I feel like I say a lot of the popular ones. I won't bore you any longer with what they would be. Can anybody guess what my number one vocal stem is that I walk around the house just yelling randomly? I'm curious if anybody will get this. What's up, Adele? Duck Duck Sleuth said, the Hive in this channel are shaving the wool over people's eyes one by one. Aaron TJ to you. Don't drink chunky milk said, what is going on, Hive? Has become one of mine. Sleuther Dare, you got it. I'm tired of this, Grandpa. However, it might have to start to turn into, God dang it, Jeff. Someone said, you yell at your cat. I do like to tell my cat Louie, we call him the Russian oligarch because he's a Russian blue. I do like to get home from work and just say, you're on thin ice. That's one of them. Okay. Anyways, let's get into it, shall we? So I have a few things to follow up on from yesterday's stream. And one of them is I need to apologize to Not As Dumb As You Look. I apparently am as dumb as I look because I misinterpreted this super chat completely. And so the bromance of T&W being Turvey and Wickham, absolutely. If you look at all of the pictures and the photos and how closely they collaborated for writing this, and if you go listen to Chris Whitcomb's interviews, not just in the Hive, he refers to Turvey a lot and said, when I talked to him even too, he's like, yeah, I know Turvey was thinking about coming on your show. And it's almost like sometimes he just would almost plan on Turvey being on the show to answer a question that maybe he didn't know how to. And so, yeah, I think that it is not a stretch to think that that Dr. Turvey may have used Chris Wickham as a vehicle to get a lot of this information out there. 1 or 2 stages removed. Chris Wickham's an author. He's got the FBI background. It was a good choice on Dr. Turvey's part if that is what happened. I mean, that book went to the top of the charts. And, you know, I'm not going to share this message, okay, but this will come full circle with the book here. We've talked a lot about it and what the purpose of it is. And I got a message from somebody who's a creator on TikTok that used to talk a whole lot of crap. They used to say, you guys are just victim blaming. I never understood that. Victim blaming would be this victim did something to get killed, right? That's what it is. This victim caused their own death. I have not seen anybody say that. Not in here, at least. I know I certainly haven't. Trying to figure out the truth as to who killed them is not victim blaming. And why I bring this up is that person reached out to me and DM'd me, said, I owe you an apology. And you guys could probably picture what the rest of that message looked like. Says they read broken plea. So it's working. Okay, it's working. And I also respect that person did that. I think it takes a lot to change your mind. And not only change your mind, but actually have the guts to message somebody that you would openly talk smack about and tell them sorry. So hopefully that trend continues. Now, Danger Zone posted this in the Discord. Danger Zone is not the only person that did go and find this, but this is the one that I saw. So from yesterday's stream, we were showing only available at not available his TikTok. He had gotten a photo from somebody named Lex, and I played that. Now, we were trying to figure out if the girl who is seen in the circle here, who is wearing a latex glove and looks to be carrying towels or a shower curtain, who that is. After seeing this photo, I don't know if it's this person. They look a little bit shorter. A lot of people said it was this gal right here. Now, we have some footage. I am going to play this one time only. I played this 3 last night. One time, and I also did adjust the volume. I just want to apologize to anybody that was wearing headphones last night when I would play that video. I'm sorry. Probably blew your guys' eardrums out. I didn't realize how loud it was because I keep the volume on this down super low because I don't like to hear my own voice in my ears as I talk. So I was listening to that as I'm editing, and I was like, Jesus. UFO Dog said, what? I'm still deaf. KR said, no, I hate his audio. I know. I'm sorry, Les. Luda said, thank you for the apology. What was that? So I turned it down. I had to take the background music out, and I am going to play it one time for anybody that did not see this yesterday. And also it's a good refresher. It's going to start in 3, 2, 1.
Is this a shower curtain with rings to hang up, just like in this example here? She has something covered under her blanket and is running over to Jagdi's house. Although MPD is already there, now she's in a hurry. Crossing the street, she looks back, wants to see if anyone has seen her, and went over to Jagdi's house at 12:14. Did she switch the shower curtain? Visible here, the white spot. Because 2 minutes later, she came back with 2 persons following her, while 3 other persons went down the street looking behind the staircase and went up the stairs with what it looks like a freshly new shower curtain. And it is Jack D's house because it's the only possibility. Once she crossed the street, it's the only house there. So did she switch her own shower curtain of the 112 Kingwood house, or the shower curtain of Jack D's house? Don't forget that they found red fluid on the entry hallway at east wall of the kitchen in Jack D's house. Shout out to Lexi who sent me this picture.
So now I have another TikTok that will go into depth. I believe it's from the body cam. And oh, shoot, I just exited out of that. Sorry, Hive. But it's going to go into the body cam now of when, is it Snyder? I think it is Snyder's body cam. Where the heck did that go? Snyder's body cam. And I believe we're going to get a better angle of it. So give me 1 second here. Here we go. Okay. And then again, a lot of people were saying that it was this gal. And I believe that we are about to be watching this interaction right here. Actually, no, we are. This is the interaction we're going to be watching. And here it is. And so it looks like this comes from, I could see the TikTok watermark. This is the Husky Rabbit on TikTok's video. I'm not sure if that's Danger Zone's TikTok name or who that is, but this is their video.
I'll give you an email. And then you guys can email if that works. Whose camera is it?
It's mine.
Okay.
Yeah. What's the email that you...
Let's go with R. Snyder. SNYDER.
SNY?
DER.
DER.
At ci.moscow.
It is that chick, dude. You could see the Corner Club out there. What the heck? I did not. So everybody was saying it was this. Okay, I did not notice that before. Everybody's been saying it was this person right here. Dude, you can totally see the Corner Club. Look at this. Checking her. Look at her body language, dude. Oh my God. I don't want to be over dramatic here, but now that I just caught that, because I couldn't see it before, that's total, dude, right? Wow. Blue Eyed Candy said, nope, I called it. That's what there said, think twice. Why does nobody wear pants? Is what Crazy Birdie, not Crazy Birdie Lady. You guys might think I'm crazy, but Crazy Bird Lady said, that is totally her. Now, okay. So now that we know that, let's go back. Let's just watch this body language. Oh, man. I'm glad that I just caught that.
I'll give you an email. And then you guys can email if that works. Whose camera is it?
It's mine.
Okay.
Yeah. What's the email that you...
Let's go with R. Snyder. SNYDER.
SNY?
DER.
DER.
At ci.moscow. .id.
ID?
Yep. .us.
Oh,
Yeah, just gonna do that.
perfect.
Yeah, that'd be great. Okay. Thank you. And if everybody's okay here, if you guys need to leave or something like that, just let us know. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. So I just had a comment up about the bandage because I'm convinced, and from last night, this when enhanced shows a white latex glove. However, on the thumb here, I can see how in this grainy photo, it does look like a bandage. I'm kind of speechless, Hive. I'm also muting this video. No offense to only available at not available. I had that at 70%. It still was loud. But when I see this body language here, right here, is that Is she got the same slides on? Yeah. Okay, that totally looks. Now that we saw that. Okay, that totally.
We'll give you an email.
Okay.
And then you guys can email if that works. Whose camera is it?
It's mine.
Okay.
Yeah. Why?
That's totally the same chick. Wow. Her and Chicken Boy.
Go with R.
Alright.
Snyder. SNYDER.
SNY.
DER.
Yeah.
At CI. Moscow. ID.
ID.
Yep. .us.
Okay. So Hive. I hope that we can be quick on this. What time do people start carrying stuff out to that truck in the tote? On the 1112. Does anybody know? I'm going to look that up. And now that we know that, I feel like we're starting to dial that in, because if that same girl is seen on the 1112, 1216, Jim Harrison, you rock. 1216, is that, or 1115? You know what? Let's just. No. Isn't it in the morning? Oh, 11:15. Yeah, in the morning. Yes. Yeah. All right. I'm going to try to do this as quick as I can here. Hang on. Is it 1216 or is it 1030? Because isn't it already gone at this point? I knew this was going to happen. I knew it was going to be confusing. No, not 1216. 1030, or it's clearly not 1115. But we see people outside right here. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna. I thought that we'd be able to find that quickly. Could somebody, one of the mods, or could somebody, if you wouldn't mind, go and find that out and send me the times? Mark B. Never mind. 1104. Thank you. Gave the seconds too. Appreciate it, Mark. Okay. But that's not the silver truck where they load the tote up. So I was talking about. Oh, he's going to the truck now. Mark, I think you read my mind. Okay, we don't need to listen to that crappy audio, but just so everybody knows, what I was trying to do is that shorter girl who was running in the video with towels in her hands and what looks to be latex glove or a bandage on her hand. We found out it was the shorter girl standing next to the girl who looked like she was shitting bricks when the officer was talking to her on the 1112 patio. So I wanted to look at this to see, do we see them at all? Any of the people that look like they're going over to Jack's house when the cops are there, or towards Jack's house when the cops are there, in this scene here, is what I've been trying to do. And I just wanted to look quickly because people thought, oh, they changed, they showered. Well, she didn't. So now let's see what this is. Does that make sense as to why we're looking at this now for the people that were asking? Okay, now where are they going? Thank you, Luna. Yes, please, everybody go tap that like button. Appreciate it. Okay, well, that is either way. This part right here again. This is just so strange. I mean, this is clearly it's the same girl that was running,
We'll
and
give
here
you
she
an
is.
email.
Okay.
And then you guys can email if that works. Whose camera is it?
It's mine.
Okay.
Yeah. What's the email that you?
Let's go with R
Alright.
Snyder, SNYDER,
SNY.
DER,
Dude, she's freaked out.
at ci.moscow.id.
ID.
Yep. .us.
Alright.
Yeah, just gonna do that.
Perfect.
R Snyder. Yeah, that'd be great. Okay. Thank you. And if everybody's okay here, if you guys need to leave or something like that, just let us know.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, what do we make of this? I'm not trying to be dramatic. I am just shocked. I'm just shocked. I mean, where would you all rate this as far as finally some stuff that it's crystal clear on camera and hard to not interpret it as suspect, sketchy, nefarious potentially. We have somebody who is running back and forth. I mean, the body language is just such a giveaway. Like, I really haven't even digested it that much. I don't even know what that could mean. I mean, we need to almost go back and trace this chick's movements now throughout the night for when we could see it on camera. And I did see a good comment that said, there's another house in that direction. We don't know if they're going to Jack D's. I guess I would agree with that, but you can see some dudes walk out afterwards. I feel like one of them looks like Jack. I have not watched the hours of the early morning nearly as much as I've looked into, the 1 to 4 a.m. So that is on my to-do list this weekend. Be a good Saturday thing to go through that for Hive Plus, for the war room. Crazy Bird Lady says, show me your totes. Kay Miller said, that whole thing was fully off my radar until now. This case is wild. I'll be honest about it. Same for me. Seriously. The tote and the people standing on the balcony, the only thing that I would ever say that made my spidey senses go off is there's just no damn way that they didn't hear anything. Blue-Eyed Candy said, knowing how JD still felt about Kaylee, I would have expected to see him running like a crazy person, busting into that house to get to her no matter what. I felt, see, again, this is, before I say all this stuff too, I want to, obviously, I'm going to give you my opinion. I always just have this voice in the back of my head too that's like, not everybody acts the same way. And I want that to be established, that like everybody knows that. Okay. I'm just personally saying, I don't know how there was no, like, not aggression towards the cop, but are you serious? Like, let me in there. Like, what's wrong? Anything, arms flailing, voice escalating, maybe not like yelling at the cop, but animation, emotion. Not just sit in the back of a cop car because it's kind of cold. You don't know if you're being detained and then you ask for a water. A sense of urgency, Brandon, is a good way to say it. Yes. Crop Duster said exactly. That's true. Luna Rose said, but no one showed emotion. Nothing from no one. Book Girl Brown Review says something, anything. What up, Bus Diablo? Abe Moreno said, yes, check out the early morning footage. I want to know. Yep, we will be diving into that. Bam828 said, there was no chaos after the event. Kay Miller said, body language is telling in these situations. That's why they have experts use it for interviews in these situations. Good point. Body language is real and raw. It speaks louder than words. Brandy Wine said, agree. There's none. It's so odd. And Bellamicia, good to see you. Head of HR said, common sense people that Jack D is involved because a 17-minute call puts him right in the middle of this with DM and BF and whoever that girl is. Funny, everybody is emotionless. I've seen none. It's just, again, it's you know it when you see it. And sometimes it's hard to explain it, but it's instinct, it's intuition, it's a gut feeling. And to Bellamicia's point, the 17-minute phone call, why does that part just keep getting skipped over by a lot of people? Why is it that anything that, actually, I know the answer to it, but Maybe I should rephrase that and say it is very annoying. It's frustrating. It's sickening that everything that's inconvenient to the mainstream narrative just gets skipped over. Think about how effed up of a media system we really have, Hive. There are people that would rather not know the truth about who killed people because their media channel, their billion-dollar media company, their salary, wardrobes, their makeup, all that, it's on the line. It's on the line. And they've lost such touch with people. There is zero touch with reality to real people, and they don't understand that it is seething through the screen, that they know that we know they're lying. And I think the most maddening spit in our face type of thing that they could do is to know that and just not care. So then that leads to the question of this. Who are they lying for? Who are they lying for? Is it almost a nod to the people of, see, I'm putting myself out there. I know how bad this looks, but I'm doing it as some sort of signal, not an actual signal to do more stuff, but a signal to, yep, I'm loyal, because it doesn't make sense. It goes against all human behavior and wanting to be good at your career and a professional. And it's just turned into something that's so gross. And it's so just effed up. Golden Chicken Toothache said we should watch Revolution Tarot, aka Sue Intuitive reading with Xana from yesterday. She posted, and see if we can find stuff that lines up. I did see a couple comments about that. I went and I watched it when I was on the treadmill. I watched it at 2x, and I think that, the escalation thing was interesting. But yeah, I keep up with Sue Tarot, or Revolution Tarot. I can never say her name in the right order. I'm sorry, Sue. Sue's such a sweet lady. She's so nice. It'd be fun to get her back in the Hive. We should make a note of that mod. That'd be interesting. Get her back in there. I just saw, I want to make sure too. Dina said, I'm a proud Hive member. I've been since TikTok days. Shout out to Dina. Thank you so much. So cool seeing people's names from way back in the day. I did see some super chats above that. I will get to them here in a second. I want to, again, remind everybody too what this looked like enhanced. I think that did it. Look at how good that enhanced it. Look at the bristles on that. I'm telling you, not sponsored by Grok. I'm just obsessed with the enhancing ability that it has. All right, now to get into this evening's theme, this is pretty. I'm not pretty bombshell. It is a bombshell. It's remarkable. So I have a couple of slides. I had only gotten this. I had only started to dive into this about an hour before the stream. Okay, so give me a little bit of grace on this. I did my best. I got 3 slides prepared, and what I'm going to do with this report is I'm going to go over things that we need. What do you need to know? What's inside of it? And then I have a couple other slides that, quite frankly, it should piss you off. I was texting Sleuth or Dare and Luna before the slides, before the live, and it's maddening. They lied. They lied to the public. They lied to the families. This is wrong. This is extremely, extremely wrong. And so here's what you need to know about this new report. This is between the state of Idaho and the defense team of Brian Koberger. What is it? It's a supplemental discovery filing provided by the state to the defense for the penalty phase of the trial. And the purpose is to provide expert opinions and medical evidence to support the state's request for the death penalty by establishing aggravating factors. Where did it come from? It's prepared by the Idaho Office of the Chief Medical Examiner, authored by Dr. Veena Singh. What does it contain? Expert testimony summary from Dr. Veena Singh, pages 1 through 4. It's a high-level opinion on cause of death, weapon consistency, pain, and suffering. Detailed autopsy reports for all 4 victims includes wound descriptions, cause and manner of death, and weapon analysis. Weapon analysis findings, detailed descriptions of the blade characteristics observed in the wounds, pain and suffering assessments, individualized assessments of the degree of pain and suffering for each victim, medical findings supporting aggravating factors, which is used to argue particular cruelty, multiple victims, and a high degree of suffering. The important context to know about this is that the entire report was turned over to the defense. It includes both the high-level K-bar consistent opinions and then the detailed autopsy findings. The craziest part about this document, Hive, the defense had it. The state wrote it. So I'm going to go ahead and break down what I can't believe. And the reason why I picked this is what Luna had sent me and what I had referenced with Luna and Sleuth and I just being like, what the hell? So the state's own documents, they actually say this. And the way that you can sum this up is there's two different layers. Okay, so there's pages 1 through 4, which is a high-level expert testimony summary. It's consistent with the K-bar narrative that we've all heard. K-bar, full-size, U.S. Marine Corps fighting knife, all 4 victims. Then you get into the second layer. You get down into the weeds in layer 2 for the detailed autopsy reports, the actual weapon sections. The blade is described with, quote, double-edged segment and a single-edged segment, and, quote, partly serrated blade on some wounds. Same document, 2 extremely different pictures. This is crazy. This is why I said NPCs' heads are going to explode, but also at the same time, I can't wrap my head around that the defense had this. Weapon section. Same words, not exactly. Version 1 is including serration detail. The weapon is based on characteristics of the least distorted wounds. The findings are consistent with a blade approximately 1 to 3/16 to 1 1/4 inch width and approximately 5 32 and 3/16 in thickness with a double-edged segment and a single-edged segment. Some wounds show findings consistent with a partly serrated blade. And you guys know I have my little speech impediment with the THs. So when you hear that, don't roast me. I'm working through it. Version 2, serration detail missing. Based on characteristics of the least distorted wound, the findings are consistent with a blade approximately 1 3/16 to 1 1/4 inch in width and approximately 5 30-seconds to 3 16 in thickness. One report includes the serration detail. The other leaves it out. Both come from the same document. That's insane. If you guys want to screenshot this right now, go ahead. And I'll actually go back to you guys can screenshot this one as well if you'd like. There you go. It's freaking insane. That's right back. Valentina just said, I'm a cop. I'm from Eastern Europe, and our training is really intense in a way of catching lies, like literally ex-communism KGB type of training. Everyone, quote, important here is lying. I'd like to hear about some of those techniques. I'm sure it's a lot more intense than what any of the frat boys went through here. Golden Chick Too Sexy for You. Did you just change your username in the middle of the live? Said, I got no words. It's just jaw dropping. Truth Sleuth said, yeah, and the knife on the table where the red cups were. That is interesting. That is interesting. And I just saw Mike Meta 1354 said, Birdie, did you or the Hive catch the Kennedy interview from Connor.HH channel? Just asking, timeline destroyed after listening to her interview. I got a clip of it sent to me. I did not have time to watch that. There's so much stuff coming out here, Hive. I mean, I'm doing my best to stay on top of it all, but I also want to make sure that I'm going through stuff thoroughly enough to where I can talk about it in detail. But yeah, I have that on my list. I now want to watch the early morning hours, the 8 a.m. to the cops arriving for the 911 call now. Redacted since birth said, just so sick of the lies from all these fools. That kind of sounded like, did that sound like a one of those rubber chickens, not a clown horn? I don't know if that came through the mic. It sounded like that, but to me, that just sounded like a rubber chicken. Wanda said, I always thought Hunter J picked up the steak knife so his prints would obviously be on it. You know what's interesting? I'd be curious if I was to screenshot this and I was to say, provide me with an image of what these two weapons or what these two knives would most likely look like. Let's see what this comes up with. I'm going to keep it off the screen while it's doing it. Just, I don't know how it is with live on YouTube and that stuff. Why does AI more and more just continue to tell you they can't help you with something? Oh, it's so frustrating. Here to establish an alibi said, oh my God, we were thinking the same thing, Birdie. Blue-eyed Katie said, good one, Birdie. Medicated Mama said, I don't think he got that knife from the kitchen. Chris 8206 said partially serrated K-bar. Just so you guys know too, I believe I actually know this. There are different rules for a live stream on YouTube as far as what you can show compared to posting a video. Okay. So if you do stream live, hopefully I can save you a headache. Don't show any guns shooting. I got kicked off a live for showing the guy on a roof laying down during the whole Charlie Kirk thing. Got put into YouTube jail for that. And it was just a guy laying on a roof. Wasn't even firing, which is crazy. But there's different rules for the stream, or for a stream versus a video, just so y'all know. Like, why does this violate guardrails? All right. Well, I'm done with ChatGPT. I'm going to try it on Grok. Give me 2 seconds. Nick Rogers making a prediction, calling that it's going to show a fixed blade Bowie knife and a folding knife like a Remington hunting knife or a bear hunting knife. That's a good call. It's a good call. It kind of reminds me of, if you're a football fan, it kind of reminds me of Tony Romo back when he was in his prime, when he'd say they're going to run an outside zone to the right, or they're going to check into, a quick out to the sticks, try to get out of bounds. And then what do you see? You see exactly that. That was the prime era of Tony Romo commentating. Jeff H., always a pleasure to see you, said, just giving you crap, Jeff, said the standard full-size USMC K-bar model 1217 style fighting utility knife has a blade of 1.188 inches. Correct. But that doesn't explain the fact that there's two different blades, dude. Truth Slew said, and what about the machete one of the girls were holding up on the porch? Yeah, they were playing like real life Fruit Ninja. All right. I think Grok is going to do it here. Lynn Matson said one, I believe, is going to be a switchblade. Nick Rogers liked the pocket folding knife of, quote, Chicken Boy that slices hand on the pocket knife, or maybe glass windows. Yes, not sure. Is Chicken Boy climbing up anybody's ranks right now for people being a little bit suspect. Oh, wow. Okay, Grok made very graphic images. Holy hell, it actually made what the wound most likely looked like with skin. I don't think I can show this. Let me just look this up quick. I'm just double checking so I don't get this shut down. It's loading. Yeah, I'm not going to show the wounds. Okay, it says yes, you could generally show a photo of a knife on a YouTube live stream. Okay, well, I'm going to do this quickly. So this is this one looks this is what it's saying here, and it says their name on it. So version 1, this is what Xana Cardota would look like, double-edged, single-edged main blade. I'm just going to kind of go quickly with that, and then if you guys can look up in the upper right, you guys can kind of see what starts to appear if you look down. I mean, it goes through and starts to show what the actual wounds would look like. That might be something for the Discord. I'm sure Grok would be able to put together a very hyper realistic autopsy diagram, not where we would have not look like the victims. I would never do that, but like a medical report, an actual autopsy report. I'm sure it would be able to generate one of those. But yeah, and that specifically looked like it was on her wrist. So on Xana's autopsy report, 1 1/4 inch blade, about just less than 1/4 of an inch thickness on the spine, double-edged segment near the tip. Single-edged is the main blade, partly serrated edge on the lower portion. On Maddie's, same overall dimension, but there's no serration and there's no double-edged segment. So if I was to show you this is the difference in them. So I just had it create an actual like diagram looking one. So this will be, oh, no. So this is the difference in the blades. So the one on the left is what it says is Xana's knife, and the one on the right is what they are saying it is done onto Maddie. Second image. So, and then again, if you saw that little blip, it's showing what cuts would look like with a double-edged versus a single-edged and partly serrated. It's going to be much more irregular, jagged, striated wound margins. I can ask it, what caused the blunt force trauma? Yeah, it's a nasty knife, dude. That's crazy. So again, state of Idaho, and this is between the state of Idaho and the defense team. It's supplemental discovery filing provided by the state to the defense for the penalty phase of the trial. The purpose was to provide expert opinions and medical evidence to support the state's request for the death penalty by establishing aggravating factors. Hence why they're also doing pain and suffering assessments, which is an individualized assessment of the degree of pain and suffering for each victim. Now, the same pathologist who described the knife, the blunt force injuries are attributed to the same overall attack, according to Dr. Singh, involving the knife. It's not a separate blunt object like a hammer, bat, or pipe. So that's very interesting. It says the blunt force trauma was not from a second weapon. And that does not say it anywhere in the report. I'm pulling up the report right now, the actual exhibit. Here we go. Vina Singh, Spokane County Chief Medical Examiner and Forensic Pathologist. In this supplemental discovery response, it's anticipated the state will call Dr. Singh to testify as an expert regarding the autopsies performed at Spokane County Medical's office on November 16th, 2022 on Ethan, Kaylee, Xana, and Maddie. If we scroll down, in Dr. Singh's expert opinion that Ethan Chapin's cause of death is multiple sharp force injuries, Dr. Singh's post-mortem examination showed a well-developed adult male with stab and incised wounds of the scalp, face, and neck, a stab wound of the upper chest, incised wounds of the upper extremities, stab and incised wounds of the lower extremities, associated injuries to include perforations of the jugular vein, subclavian vein, and subclavian artery. Jesus. I mean, I don't know. I haven't looked enough into this. I know that we have people that are EMS folks or they're nurses or they're first responders. In a stabbing, is it common to get all three of those without intent? Meaning if it's just a crazy, especially if Ethan's not moving, as they made it sound, maybe defense wounds on his hand. I mean, is that common to just accidentally get the jugular, subclavian, so both the jugular vein and subclavian vein, and then the subclavian artery? Overkill and rage is right, Hilarious. And that's kind of what I'm getting at, Kerry Johnson, is who would know where those arteries are to precisely cut? And Polar Life Force, I agree. It said that that's knowledge. Nick Rogers said it's like they were, where did that go? It's like they were jumped. Each person had a weapon, it sounds like. Well, and I think this is spot on. I believe it, Coco Cash. I agree with this. It may have been a frenzy, but I think it was thought out clearly. Yes. And I think that, and I just saw somebody say, who would know how to do this? Is it somebody in prison? Potentially. I don't know. I've never been to prison, but I would say if I had to guess, does that type of knowledge make its way around a prison if you're going to shank somebody? I would guess, right? Somebody said a physical therapy student, which is Tam's tabletop set physical therapy student. Somebody said, Jeff H. K-bar does mean kill a bear because it has. K-bar was also developed as a fighting knife in the war, as we all know. The Great Wars. Okay, so I did upload that document into Grok for important context that most people miss. And this is what it says. I always find this interesting. You got to always take it with a grain of salt because it is just, scanning the document, but it's good to wrap your head around kind of the general gist of it. I'm always curious to see what it says. It says some of the important context that people miss from this report is that there's a defense expert, which is Dr. Brent Turvey, as we know, who reviewed the same autopsy material and concluded that Kaylee was attacked with two different weapons and suffered two different forms of wound. That filing exists and is a part of the record. So we have the state's position. As we know, one knife explains the pattern, including blunt components via handle in a struggle. The defense position is that two weapons were used. The official autopsy reports themselves stay mostly descriptive. They document what injuries existed and give measurements characteristics for the sharp force weapon, but they do not make an explicit affirmative statement ruling out a second object for blunt force. The reports do not say there was only one weapon. They do not say that the blunt force was caused by the knife handle. They do not say we ruled out a second blunt object, and they never describe or recover any second weapon. The official documents are saying, and this is from Dr. Veena Singh's autopsy findings and the state's expert disclosure, Kaylee, her cause of death was multiple sharp force injuries with blunt force injuries of the head and asphyxial injuries as significant contributors. Blunt force injuries listed: scalp laceration, bleeding around the brain, nasal fracture, scrapes on the nose and cheeks, bruising around the eyes, patterned bruises extending across the lower face. Dr. Singh will testify that an unidentified object was pressed across Goncalves' mouth. That's a quote. That is the full extent of what is written about the blunt force. There is no further specification of what object caused the pattern bruises, nasal fracture, scalp laceration, or the object pressed over the mouth. I'll just say, if you had to guess, what would that second object be if you were acting as an expert? What are your top 3 guesses? Let's just see what that says. The Deline one said medical knowledge for sure. Hilarious said, oh my God. Marsha May Hughes said, no way. All right, let's see what it came up with. Wow. I mean, you guys did just see what it all created, what it laid out. I think it has a good understanding of what's in the document, but understanding, we have to use a grain of salt with it. Look at what the number one most likely candidate is. And it said, with that said, if I had to give my top 3 most plausible guesses for a second object that could produce the exact combination of blunt force, compression injuries, here they are ranked by likelihood based on the wound patterns. The number 1 is actually a heavy flashlight. It's the most likely candidate in Grok's view. Why it fits best: the end or body of a sturdy flashlight, mag light style, or similar tactical light. Dude, now I start thinking of Bethany and the Flash. It commonly leaves patterned, somewhat circular or linear bruises when used as an impact weapon. It can easily cause a nasal fracture and facial scalp contusions with 1 or 2 strikes. It has a neutral secondary use as a smothering and compression tool. The body or lens can be pressed hard across the mouth and nose while the attacker uses the other hand or body weight to control the victim. It matches the unidentified object pressed against the mouth description extremely well. Flashlights are extremely common in home invasions, nighttime entries, or when someone is already, quote, carrying a, quote, tool for control or intimidation. This is my number 1 guess because the object explains both the patterned blunt force trauma and the mouth compression. Number 2 is the grip, slide, or butt of a handgun. Why it ranks high: pistol grips and slide serrations often leave distinctive patterned or textured bruises that can match patterned bruises extending across the lower face. A handgun, as we know, can be used as an impact weapon to the face head structure. The flat side or grip can be pressed over the mouth for control or smothering, again, matching the asphyxial component. In many planned or armed entries, a firearm is carried for intimidation, even if the primary killing method is a knife. No gunshot wounds doesn't rule it out. It just means it wasn't fired. The third is a second knife or a multi-tool fixed blade tool used in blunt or pummel mode, and the primary knife for stabbing. If Turvey is correct that 2 different weapons were used on Kaylee for the sharp force wounds, it is very possible one of those weapons, or its handle, pommel, guard, was used for blunt striking. Many tactical or fixed blade knives have a heavy pommel or guard that could deliver significant blunt force and leave patterned or linear marks. The handle or spine of a second knife could easily be pressed across the mouth during a struggle. This keeps everything within the edged weapons category while satisfying the 2 weapons theory. The number one being a heavy flashlight, I actually feel, let's actually do a poll on that. What do you think was the cause of those patterns? And I'm going to put flashlight. Oh, I'm very curious to see what this is. I'm going to say knife handle or other. Okay, the poll is going up now, Hive. If you'd like to vote, all you have to do is pull it up on your keyboard, press 1 for flashlight, 2 for handgun, 3 for knife handle, or 4 for other. The mag light heavy flashlight, and I'll pull up an image as you all are voting. This is going to be interesting to see. I mean, I think most people know what these type of flashlights look like. They are heavy as hell, though. 72. Okay, it's still going. I'm going to give this 20 more seconds to vote. I'm going to have it kind of create a diagram of the pattern that it's maybe describing. Whoops. I'm going to have it show a pattern of what it thinks it would most likely be. And so, okay, here we go to finish the poll out. Coming in at first place, flashlight, 68%. Coming in at second place would be other, 22%. Then we have a handgun and knife handle pretty much finishing out dead even at 5% and 4%. Oops. For the other, type out, if you voted other, what would the other be? I feel like the mag light makes a lot of sense. It could also explain the flash of light, maybe if it broke, if it got dropped. Oh, Juliet, you beat me to it. I literally just saw that as I finished my sentence. Said, if someone dropped a flashlight in the basement hallway, it would cause a bang and Bethany would see a flash under her door. That's very true. Let's see if there's any videos on YouTube of a mag light dropping and breaking at night video. It's kind of eerie. I mean, it's also a promotional one. I don't know if it would break though. Maybe a flashlight with a strobe. Most people, I'm sure, have seen that strobe effect. The police will use it every now and again in crowds. Okay. So here is the image that it gave me of what the autopsy report would most likely visualize for the patterns. So on the left here, it says compression marks over mouth and face. And then the one on the right side of the lip is possible linear or textured imprint from the object edge or grip. Up on the nose here, it says, you can't see the top of it. It says patterned contusions from blunt object impact. So that is again, I don't know how detailed it could possibly go, but it does say here's exactly what it would look like. It's a clinical forensic style illustration on a stylized anatomical mannequin face. Obviously, it's not a real person, but this is showing the exact pattern, bruises, and compression marks described on Kaylee's lower face. Again, it makes the argument saying how this relates to the possible objects discussed. The flashlight will often leave the circular, semicircular marks around the lens and bezel. Then the handgun grip or the butt of the gun can leave hatched, checkered, or serrated style texture imprints. The knife pommel handle or guard can leave a more linear or rectangular impression. So, well, okay, yeah, I know. How would I know true to it? I don't know. You guys are watching me type it out. What do you mean? Come on, Bert. I don't know. I don't think I'm trying to also work within the guidelines of YouTube here. Doing my best. I agree. I mean, I'm sure that it would be you're not seeing their face if they're saying it's unrecognizable. I asked it just for the patterns. Okay. So just to clarify, just the patterns. What do patterns look like? So look at the texture, the lines, the grooves. See how they're this? That's what I had asked it to do. I agree it's not going to look like this if they're saying unrecognizable, but I was just again referring to the patterns that it's saying it could be doing potentially. Jennifer Brill, thank you for the big super chat. Said, I have a theory to explain all the weapons, etc. It correlates with the theory that you read on Saturday. I'm newer to the channel. When do you do call-ins? This channel rocks. Well, welcome to the Hive, Jennifer Brill. And we do call-ins on Friday nights at 7 p.m. Central. Anybody can call in. I'm very curious for the theory, especially from new members of the Hive. We're glad you found us. We're happy to have you. And yes, Fridays are some of the most fun nights here in the Hive doing the call-in theories. Oh, Jeff H sent a super chat. Thank you, Jeff. Said, I had tried to send a super chat to Custody Queens, but I'm blocked over there, so you get it. I think they could thank Twizzle for that block. Oh, you just felt it out of the kindness of your heart, Jeff? That's nice of you. Jeff, I think the Hive treats you relatively fair for some good, friendly banter. Right? Oh, and yes, thank you, Juliet, calling out that Kaylee does not have a bald head. Yes. Brass Knuckles. Rolo, what up, brother? Said, when it's one perp, the wounds are consistent and the same. Halo Art said, jealous rage is definitely motive in the celebration of life. When the pastor was reading for Dylan, she said, wait. Sorry, Halo Art. Jealous rage is definitely motive in the celebration of life. When the pastor was reading for Dylan, she said, Kaylee had the most beautiful smile. Then her teeth get smashed out. The mag light thing is very, very strange. And thank you, Crazy Bird Lady, for gifting 5 memberships. And I just saw that Here to Establish an Alibi has officially been a Hive Plus member for 2 months. Said, Birdie, I think the circle's left in blood. Sorry, I got to finish reading that. You guys can't see it. Birdie, I think the circles left in blood in Xana's room could have been from a flashlight. Oh, I just got goosebumps. I literally just got goosebumps all over my thighs right there. Jeez. It's a perfect circle. It is a perfect circle. Wow. I think we can see it in this one. It's a little blurry. I know there's a really good photo. There's a much clearer one. Yeah, the carpets. Yeah. I'm trying to find it just on Google quick. I got to make a note to show that tomorrow. 1 second. Let me write that down. People are, I just saw Love Always Truth. The comment flew by. I didn't have time to click on it, but said, why would you need a flashlight when all the lights are on inside? I would say because it's dark outside, and I don't believe that the killers came by vehicle. I think the killers came on foot, and I bet that they were trudging outside. That's what I would think. So Mark B, I don't know why I just said 1, 2, 3, 4. I never say that at the end of your username, but said, I don't think the mag light leaves vertical lines, but a golf club does. The golf club theory has always been so intriguing to me, not because I think that it's wrong. It's just, it's such an obvious weapon of opportunity. And you stack Chris Whitcomb saying that spare room is going to be important. And then you look in the spare bedroom and what do you see? You see the golf club bag. And yeah, depending on the type of club that you're using, I mean, it could leave lines. I don't know why the mag light thing is kind of making a lot of sense to me. I don't know if I'm right, or not me, if Grok is right, because the golf club always was in the back of my head, it being, a possibility for those wounds. Uncle Daddy 001, good to see you. Said this crime scene suggests nobody was running away from the killers, suggesting that they were told to just stay put. Man, one of the best things about the live chat is how many comments will challenge the recall of your memory for stuff that we've talked about. And a lot of times the interview with Chris Whitcomb pops into my head because Chris had said, how do you control somebody? And I think Turvey referred to that too. And then we had a caller that called in and said maybe a taser. I think that hands down, the most obvious thing that, and probably the most likely and out in Idaho, a gun. How do you get somebody to do absolutely anything that you want and not try to run away? It's a gun. It's absolutely a gun. Don't get me wrong. A taser's intimidating. A golf club's intimidating. But I'll tell you what, I would guess that more people would take their chance at running if somebody just had a taser or a golf club. They're going to take their chance. I don't know if you're going to take your chance. I mean, if your life's on the line, right? You got to do what you got to do. But generally speaking, from a 40,000 foot view, I mean, that's how you're going to control people. I think more times than not. Mike Nugent said PPUs control people. Billy Girl said exactly. Brutal. Be honest said exactly. Gurmilla said every time. Jennifer Folsom said the simplest is likely the correct choice. Awesome's razor. Mary Tyler said tied up. Luna, thank you for the reminder to everybody. Please hit like, subscribe, and share. Up north to Alaska said, just jumped in here. I don't want to forget. I've been wondering, why do we not get to hear his Jill phone calls? Well, do you want the tinfoil hat answer, or do you want, I guess, the straightforward case answer? A lot of people have said that they've sent Brian Koberger mail or a letter, or they've tried to send him the book Broken Plea, and it gets returned or not delivered. That is crazy. Especially when you see a case like the crash going on with Mackenzie Shrilla, who has no problem getting access to the media, to phone calls. And we get this weird leak of a Koberger complaint or two and this video of him in his cell. Philly Girl said, it's because he's on an island. No cell service. Let's just throw this poll up, okay? We got almost 1,800 people in here. I would encourage everybody that has a phone in their hand to please vote, because I'm genuinely curious. I think a lot of people will be too. I just want to get a general temperature check here of the people that are tuned in. Do you believe that Brian Koberger is in prison full time? And I already know there are some NPCs heads just exploding right now. You can hear it pop, 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 pop. Bernie's asking if it's Koberger's in prison or not. Yeah. Run along, you NPC. Get on out of here and scram. Don't forget your salt. 1 for yes, 2 for no. I'm just curious what the chat will say. And when I say full time, obviously you guys know what I'm saying. Has anybody seen Brian Koberger in prison besides the video? Has anybody been able to visit him? Guys, I mean, if he's apparently in prison for life, what are they protecting him from? No phone calls? No letters? No interviews? That doesn't make sense. I just saw Sharmad said BK is on the clock for the FBI. Rolo said you can send it through 4 approved bookstore institutions, one of them being Barnes & Noble. I don't know if anybody's tried Barnes & Noble. I've heard of Amazon. I don't know if Amazon's approved for prisons. But I guess I'm just saying, even media, no big media company after broken plea wants to go interview Brian Koberger. For all of these people that are all about ratings and views, I don't get that. This goes against every business decision in the media that I could think of. I mean, seriously, take the legal side out of it. Let's just talk about the mainstream media parasites here. Why aren't they licking their chops? So I'm going to give this 5 more seconds for voting. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And wow, 67% of people do not believe that Brian Koberger is in prison full time here in the chat this evening. 33% do. 32% do. Oh, it's pronounced charmed. Thank you. It flew by. I thought there was an O in there. Sorry about that. No Pierce Morgan. Witness protection. Tasha said he's a Fed. Lex Green said money. Everybody would be making money off that. It doesn't make it. I don't get it. Rob 6972 said, I will never doubt that the 4 figures running on the Banfield that night are the killers, and their parents have a lot of power in getting by with it. That is an interesting point. Okay, I'm going to do another poll. Do you believe that the Banfield runners were the killers? Yes. No. All right, another poll goes on up. It's always fun when we have a giant chat in here this evening for these polls, because I think it gives us a good kind of data plot of how people are viewing certain dynamics of this case. It's very interesting to see. So 1 for yes, 2 for no if you believe that the Banfield runners were the killers. It's always funny when people type a 3. I should have put some of them. Mystic D said that Amazon is approved for prisons. Thank you, Mystic D. Saw that fly by. Let's do this, Hive. So I'm gonna give this 10 more seconds here. See for some more to come in. Oh, it's kind of catching up a little bit. 60-40, pretty dead split right now. 61-39. And so 61% do not believe that the Banfield runners were the killers, and 39% do. I'm going to open this up now to you all. Let's do a couple questions. What questions would you like us to pull, or would you like me to pull the chat on right now? What question do you think that we could ask and pull on right now? Maybe having something to do with the new exhibit, talking about how it seems to be, one report is including the serration detail, the other's leaving it out. Both are coming from the same document. Or it could be about something completely else. I'm going to try to keep my eyes here and try to catch some as I scroll by. Make sure that it's it's not just, it could be just a yes or no question. I'm trying to think of some ones that aren't super obvious. Oh, Jennifer, that's a good question. So I think this will be interesting. Do you believe? So now the reason why I think this is going to be a good question, which is, do you believe that a second weapon was used? One for yes, two for no. Before you vote, let me just say this. That's also meaning that you're fully buying into a lot of the narrative just having the wrong guy, right? I do believe that a second weapon was used personally, but as far as what and how that weapon may have been used, I'm not sure. Because if it was a shooting, don't forget, Christy sat on the couch and said her niece called her and said that somebody went and shot the party up. Now, the stab wounds, and I don't know, I'm just trying to maybe play a little bit of devil's advocates there. That was a rather obvious question after I just said, maybe not picking such obvious ones. Okay. All right. That one, very clear. 95% of people do believe that a second weapon was used. Only 5% do not. Lisa forward, Lisa backwards said footwear. The tread of a boot or heavy-soled shoe can leave repeating vertical or parallel lines if a stamp or kick to the face or mouth occurs. Yes, that's interesting that footwear did not come up, because I mean, it's just a very reasonable thing too, especially if they are being held down or if they were chased, if they fell, did they get kicked? And Boomer, thank you for the super chat, said, I looked up Brian Koberger on IDOC website and it says in custody. Yeah, I did see a couple people saying that he wasn't. Well, I mean, yeah, he's in custody, right? But I did see a couple people saying that the murder charges aren't even on his record. Some of that stuff, I mean, I find that hard to believe that they wouldn't have their T's crossed and their I's dotted on that. But then again, Koberger's plea document, he just crossed it out himself. No notarization, just changed the date. Just bunch of chicken scratch. Yeah, here's the date I'm pleading away to 4 life sentences. Does that need to be retyped? No. Just why don't you just scribble that out? Why don't you just scribble that on out? All right, let's do another question. I think it'd be interesting. Okay, you know what, Jeff H., to extend an olive branch to you, Jeff H. Jeff, what poll would you like to ask here? This should be interesting, and it's got to be case relevant. Tam's Tabletop said one person had a gun while another had the K-bar. Misty Dewdrop, thank you for the 5 Hive Plus memberships. You rock. Luna, and congratulations everybody that did get the 5 Hive Plus memberships. Are we at 1,000 likes yet? No, we're at 904. Let's get those numbers up. Leslie gifted Andrea Nicole IR90B Hive Plus. And I hope I did not miss Jeff's comment. I don't think that I did. Okay, here we go. Okay, the question is Xana's 4:12 a.m. TikTok comment, never forget the foundation in the bathtub and pour. Ooh, okay. I see you, Jeff. That's a good question. Let me type that out. Is Xana's 4:12 a.m. TikTok comment? All righty. Let me just get the yes or no. All right, Jeff. That was a good question. Is Xana's 4:12 a.m. TikTok comment more important than, oops, I spelled that wrong, than the Bathtub Foundation comment saying, do not forget the Bathtub Foundation? I think it's the TikTok comment in my head. But then I see people like Bellamisha saying it's not. Well, yeah. So Lisa forward, Lisa backward says it was a quote stated in the show. Kate said, I think someone else had her phone at that time. Thierry Dawn said it's important, but I think it's staged. Some people aren't familiar with that. Kim Moore said, I still have no evidence that anybody went to identify the victims. Okay. Misty Dewdrop said it was a ploy. Halo Art said not from Xana, in my opinion. Duck Sleuth said staged by somebody else. A lot of people haven't heard of that. Sammy said, I thought DM identified them. Isaac said, I think she was dead already. Meanie says, yes, it's important because it's staged. Xana didn't do it. Someone who knew her did. Sleuther Dare said they all had MacBook, guys. They could literally mirror your phone. So true. And we finished at 61% said yes, the TikTok comment is more important than the foundation of the bathtub comment. And Pineapple Diana said, I just sent 2 short clips to your email you have to watch. It's kind of related with the cam with the audio. I don't know if you've seen it. All righty. I will watch that and I will get that ready for tomorrow's stream. Pineapple Diana. Email 2 clips. If not tomorrow with Amber Vance on, which, guys, now's a good time to make that announcement. Tomorrow evening, 7 p.m., do not miss it. Amber Vance will be here in the Hive. We're going to be diving into the social circles of the Idaho 4, as well as a lot of the new documents. She does phenomenal breakdowns. Very excited to have Amber here tomorrow. And Blue Eyed Candy said, I already read this one. Sammy said, I have a new theory. Birdie is AI, and the channel is actually being ran by Brian Koberger from a cell in Idaho to get a chance to appeal. Boom. Nailed it. Do you guys think I'm AI? What does that even mean? If somebody actually says, are you AI? What does that mean? Reminds me of the certain intro of a song. I'm not going to say the title of the name for it, but it's like, what does that even mean? Gets the people going. It's also from Blades of Glory, which is a hilarious movie. Les Awake, I think I already said welcome to Hive Plus, but thank you so much for signing up. Susie Leia said, hey, I'm late. The Beehive. Very curious to hear Jennifer's call tomorrow. Bellamisha said, write Brian Christopher Koberger, IDOC, and there's the inmate number, Idaho Maximum Security Institution. Here's the address. I will leave this up here full screen if you guys do want to screenshot it. Luna just said, is Birdie AI poll? All right. Let's see how this finishes up. Thank you, Bellamisha, for the super chat and for providing that information. Am I AI? Yes. No. I don't know what that means. And I think that I got all of the super chats. 6. Who just said 6'7", crazy bird lady? I don't know what that means either. All right, this poll is going to be done in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, 54% say no, thank you. 5% have no idea what that means. I would be in that bucket, and 41% said yes. Let me get that off the screen. Hive, I've said this a handful of times. I feel like there's a lot of momentum within our community, being the people that already look into this. I've said that many times, right? As of late, what's really cool to see, and it's not just because it's here in this channel, I see it in comments too. If you go to the comment sections of videos or TikToks or Reels or Shorts, go look at how many people will see Idaho 4 content and say, this case was always kind of fishy to me. I never looked into it. Or what case is this again? Like, seeing those comments, I'm starting to see many more of them. Many more of them. And, I've seen some people respond back saying, well, catch up. And it's like, good. Yeah, they should catch up. And so I'm curious, for anybody that is a little bit newer to the Hive, is there anything, if we have a Saturday stream, or if we have maybe a slower weeknight where we're not sure to talk about, I think it'd be interesting to put together maybe a list of stuff for some people that are newer, or just some things that we don't and have not ever really dove into. Something that could actually make a difference, right? Said even the Facebook groups are changing tune a lot, is what Crazy Bird Lady says. Let's just see what a couple of answers are. Like a welcome package is what Don't Drink Chunky Milk said. Rolo said, look at the comments on the live and video of the live, and still Birdie forgot about it. What is that about? What did I forget about, Rolo? The comments on the live. Sammy said, I'm effing with him, y'all. No one thinks Birdie is AI. You could have saved me from that, Sammy. Ava Moreno said, so excited. Thank you for Brian Koberger's address. Shout out to Bellamisha for that. Yeah, Brian Biggs, kind of like Brian Biggs had said, Birdie, kind of like a recap. Oh, this will be a great poll to end tonight's stream. And that is, and please don't go anywhere because I want to see how this answers. Did you? I would be curious to put a second part in, like, did the Hive help change your mind? All right, so here we go. Did you believe that Brian Koberger was guilty at first? Yes, no, or 3 if you're still on the fence. So 1 for yes, 2 for no, 3 if you're still on the fence. Oh, Rolo said the live I came on panel, there's always going to be inserters denying shit I say without receipts. Yeah, that was a call, or you had called in, and we were kind of just pulling up videos on the fly. I thought it was a great conversation. You were blowing my mind. And I have to remember the title of that now. But yeah, Rolo, you should call in this Friday, man. All right. We have right now 52% of people say no, 43% said yes. There's still 5% unsure. Halo Art said, well, one, because I was being silly. He is AI. Oh, I don't know if that was for this one or the other one. I just saw somebody say there should have been a fourth option for involved, not alone. Nada 88 said, sorry, anyone who thought anything without knowing anything is sus. Facts. Bah, 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 bah. That's another vocal stem right there. All righty. That finished up. 54% said no, 42% said yes, and 5% are still on the fence. Hive, I want to say thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for hitting the like button. Please press subscribe if you are not. Tomorrow night, Amber Vance going to be here live in the Hive. It's going to be an epic stream. Do not miss it. Again, please hit like on your way out. And I believe that we are seeing the imminent explosion of a bunch of NPCs' heads, hopefully by the end of the next couple of months here. By September, we should hear something. Now, with that, sleep good, everybody. I will see you tomorrow. Cheers.